Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am Morris Merriweather, the host of Straight Talk in Room 503 and the author of Enough is Enough. Public education has spiraled out of control. I thank you for joining me again in this class of Straight Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a tough class. This lesson plan for the day is going to be tough. It's going to step on some toes today. And so what I did is I got some shoes all laid out here. And if I step on your toes and you won't accept my apology and you got to have some new shoes, I got plenty of size 8, 9, 10 ladies and I even got size 13 and 14. I don't know your size, but I'm going to talk about some things that's going to step on some toes today. Sometimes we just need to hear the truth. And the truth sometimes hurts. But today we got to deal with some things because this thing called public education has spiraled out of control. But before doing so, this telecast is being made on May the 8th, Mother's Day. And I want to take this opportunity to wish all of the mothers in the internet audience and beyond the internet audience a happy Mother's Day. Hope you had a blessed day. Hope things are going real good for you. Most of all, I hope that you're doing what God has for you to do. And that is, it said, raise up a child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they won't depart. I hope that you're raising your children. Then we have a lot of them out there that mothers are incarcerated, or mothers are going on and being raised by grandmothers, cousins, uncles, and aunts, and sometimes foster parents. So we're all, to a degree, parents to some degree. And if you don't have any children, you ought to be parenting some child to help out, because that's how you get your blessing. So again, happy Mother's Day. And let me move on. Let me say this. Each week I come to you. And, ladies and gentlemen, there is a difference in hearing and listening. A lot of time you hear some things, but you're not listening to you. When you listen to it, you have to concentrate. I hear birds singing and I hear the wind blowing. I hear car horns and the trains running, the hustle and bustle of the city. But when I concentrate and I listen, and I receive it into my mental capacity, then it pushes me to want to do something. You probably heard a mother, being that this mother, they say she would do better if she knew better. That goes for all of us. You will do better if you know better. And then if you know better and you don't do better, then right in you, you want to do wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, listen. You listen to me each week. And if you was really listening to me, then you would get up and do something because you know better. I've given you something that you can expound upon. But if you're just hearing me each week, did you hear Mr. Merriweather this week? I agree with what he said. Then if you agree with what I said, then why are you not doing something about it? And children are being hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to quit hearing me each week. And you've got to begin to listen to me each week. I hope that you are. Let me tell you something else that I noticed. And I go to different churches across this city in my hometown. And when I'm out of town, I attend churches out of town as well. But then I look around and I notice the parents and the children in the church. When I grew up, my mother and my father, they attended a different church than the church that they had their 5 children to attend. They made us, I can see my mom right now, they made us walk up the street to the church. Church wasn't that far from our home. And all the way up there, we had neighbors on the street that would say, your mother don't want you in the street. Get back up on that curb. Quit doing that. Don't pick that up. Don't mess with that. You get your clothes dirty. And when we got to church, there was people like Miss Cleo Boyd, who later became a principal, or was a principal at the time. I see her sister, Miss Gladys Davis. I see members all over the church. Sit down over there. Be quiet. Don't make me tell your mother, put that down. Don't be writing in church. Sit up in your seat. No, you're not going to lay down here and go to sleep. We had real people who did real work in the church. But now here it is 2016, and I look around the church. Parents are on the electronic devices. They about worse than the children or child. And I see grown people talking and laughing and grinning, and kids getting up and moving and going on. When I had a seat in the pews at my church, we didn't move until the benediction was given. And my parents, they don't have anything to do. So, well, maybe it's because of education. No, education don't have anything to do with it. My parents did not have the luxury of going on to high school and college like their 5 children, but they raised us. Now we have children and grandchildren, and we have to raise them. But it appears to me we're spending too much time trying to be friends to our daughters and our son in place of raising them. But I see children running all over the church. I see a young lady. She's picking on her boyfriend, her, and he's consoling her, talking, and they showing what's on the telephone, and kids moving around, and parents got Ziploc bags and getting candy and popcorn out. Church is a sacred place. It's a whole. When you're on that church ground, that's holy ground. Well, what's your point, Brother Merrill? Well, my point is this: if the parents don't make you act right at church, what make you think that they will go to the schoolhouse and act right at school? And you sitting there. Then when the school call and tell you that your child is doing something, you want to go to the school and raise hell and cuss out the teachers. When you're sitting there and that kid will not sit up in the seat, he's going to sleep and laying all down, eating and snacking and running and hollering. What make you think that they're acting different at the schoolhouse if they're not acting right in the church house? Ladies and gentlemen, I know I am right about it. If I stepped on some toes, what size shoes you say you wear? But ladies and gentlemen, let's get serious. Father's Day is coming up next month. We have got to raise our children better because we have become a nation of incarceration over education. But if that child is undisciplined in the church, that child going to be undisciplined in the school. And he's undisciplined in the school, he will be disciplined when he get to the prison. Or when they get to the graveyard, they will lay still in the graveyard. They may move around in the church. But when they go out there in the world will whip on them. And the world will put them in the graveyard. And then they will end up in the jailhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to do better with our children. Quit blaming the teachers and start looking at what you're doing. You got nieces and nephews and what have you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you for one moment think that it's just in the poor neighborhoods. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the luxury of being able to go to some of the finest churches around. I've been in the churches, they so-called white church. There's no white church and black church. All the churches belong to God. But we say that's a white church or Caucasian church. That's an African-American church. But I see too much going on in every church, regardless of the race that is there. We have not gotten real serious about Jesus. So until we teach our children and our child how to call upon the name of Jesus, then they're going to call Johnny and Susan, and their relationships are going to fall apart because they depending on everybody but the Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that's been a mouthful, and I hope that you'll take that if I stepped on any toes. I was going to apologize, but I changed that tune. I don't think I apologize, but if you still need those shoes, will you please bring some more shoes out so we can take care of you? What size you say you wear? Look, we'll be right back following this break. And that'll give you a chance to run to the fridge and get you some water, cool off, because some of you are hot because of some of the things I've said. But anyway, it's going to get hotter in the next section. I'll be right back. Stay with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sowing some seeds. Everybody sows seeds. You either sow good seeds or you sow bad seeds. They are coming up. You do know that. So if I throw some grass seeds out there in the yard, and when it rains, the sun come out and the ground warm up, they're going to germinate. That grass is going to grow. So when we fail to raise our children, those seeds are coming up, and we see them in the prison, and we turn on our news, and we see the police department stretching the yellow tape around, and parents and loved ones are hugging each other, crying in, oh, I'm so sorry, what happened, and all that. Why don't you know that kid is up to no good? You know that kid is strung out on drugs. He's running with the wrong guy. He's running with the wrong girl. He's speeding. He's smoking. He's on the telephone. She's on the telephone. Why don't we speak to those young people? And a lot of them are related to us. They're relatives of ours. They're friends of ours. They're church members of ours. Why don't we speak to them then and say, you're traveling the wrong way. You're doing it wrong. Why don't we speak to them? But we'll wait until we hear that he went to prison, or he got killed in a car wreck, texting and drinking, and he got in a fight and he hurt somebody. We see all that's going on and we don't send that. And those are those seeds we have going. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out every day and I see young people and I'm always speaking because my parents, they raised us, always speak. It's free, don't cost anything. And I have an opportunity to do some work at one of the local churches here in my hometown. And gentlemen come out several days. And I'll say, how you doing, sir? And he'll be close enough and recognize me, wouldn't say nothing. And some of the ladies, they go in church and they didn't say anything. I see them all day long because I'm at the church there. So I said to one of the members of the church, who is that guy? He said, well, that's one of the associate ministers. Couldn't be. He couldn't be associate minister and he can't speak. See, the Bible teaches us that if you can't love the one you see daily, but you love the one that you have never seen, it don't make sense. So I said to the brother, because I'm straight talking room 503, I said, oh, you got a lot of people that at this church. It's one of the biggest churches in the city. And half of the members won't even speak. And I'm out here working at the church. I said, I don't understand it. We got a whole lot of people who think they're going to heaven and they're going to hell. There's going to be enough people at these wonderful churches we call good church members that's going to be having just a real party in hell, because there's no way you going to heaven and you can't love the one that you see daily. The next thing is we're not doing a whole lot with our children nowadays. Like we did better back then when my parents did not go to high school. They had to work. But they did a marvelous job of raising us. We come straight out of the poor neighborhood. And through the grace of God and my parents and others in the community and the church members that's worked with us, we all did well. And we thank God for that. I'm not trying to be bragging and going on. I'm bragging on God because He's sure enough been good. But I speak to students all the time, young people, and how you doing, young man? Or how you doing, young lady? And they just look at me. They don't say anything. Well, common sense ought to tell you that if your parents raise you right, you will be right. And if your parents is not doing a good job at raising you, you either crazy or you just don't want to do right, or your parents is not doing a good job at that. But ladies and gentlemen, we wonder about unemployment, why we can't get jobs. And I hear students, young man, have you got a job? I can't get a job. Well, one of the reasons you can't get a job, you got a bad attitude. And you got that attitude from somebody. See, because we have this thing, you either bless or curse. And you can pass on blessings or you can pass on curse. So some parents are cursed because they didn't do right, and their generation after generation are cursed. The only way you can break a curse, you got to go to God and just say, in the name of Jesus, we break this curse. God help me to break this curse. You have to break a curse. But these kids now don't have any matter. What makes you think that the employer is going to hire them on a job with a bad attitude? I'll be in the store and the young lady looks like she's angry because she's at work and walk up, they can't speak, don't know what to say. They'll be doing minimum wage job for the rest of their life because somebody's not going to do. Their parents are not making them go to church. They don't have any manners, no personalities. And then we wonder why so many of them are still on minimum wage job, living in the same neighborhood, babies after babies, because of the parents. So we got to stop the curse. So hang with me. We're going to deal with some more things. And if I'm still stepping on toes, I got a whole lot of shoes that are going to be able to fit you. So hang with me, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, the clock on the wall says it's time to go. I mean, I'm really getting underway, but I don't want to step on too many people's toes and put too many people in the hospitals. But I'll come back next week and I'll bring some more shoes and we'll step on some more toes, because I'm going to continue to tell you the unadulterated gospel truth. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons that we're having problems now. This country's in a mess because of the election coming up. They don't want Hillary Clinton, they say. They don't want Donald Trump. The Republican Party, listen to me, Republicans. The Republican Party ignored segments of people. There was African American, Hispanic, Mexican, Puerto Rican. They didn't want to include them in the circle. And they went on and did some things, said some things, and went to Washington, took care of some people that was in the Congress with them, and took care of each other and took care of themselves and their family. And they forgot about the masses of people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good reflection of where we are with candidate Trump. People have gotten upset with establishment, and they wanted a change. Donald Trump was underestimated. You had some smart people, professors, and lived in big homes and drove big cars and on different boards and banks. They underestimated Donald Trump. They say, "Oh, he's just acting." Well, you wasn't saying that when Ronald Reagan was in there, but you're saying that because of Donald Trump. But he was smart enough. He outsmarted you. You underestimated Donald Trump. Donald Trump was able to speak to the people about what he would do, and they have band with him. Now that when they get to the convention, the Republican convention, it's going to be a mess. There are a lot of people staying away because they're afraid that violence may take place. When you do wrong, then you must pay the price. America must pay the price. We have mistreated a lot of people. We have mistreated kids in public school, pulled our kids out and put them in private schools. We have allowed lapidated buildings. I'm even told that in my hometown, the school that will be closing in a matter of a couple of weeks. Students are telling me that, Mr. Merriweather, we're going to tear that school up. To those who are saying, what school is that? That's JCM, Jackson Central Mary, on the East Campus. They're not going to tear the West Campus up. That's Jackson High School, where I went to school, among the first 12 that went to school there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day when students want to tear up the school that they once attended. Where is the religious community? Our kids need to be talked to. We should have been praying and meeting and talking to prevent what has already occurred. Closing a school down because certain students won't attend school there. But yet these are good people that are in church, was in church today, praising God. Bible on their arm, superintendents, Sunday school teachers. But only God knows. And I can tell you right now, if you don't get it right here, you won't get it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to get out of here, and let me say this. It will be no private schools. If you thought it, I'm sorry. There will be no private schools in heaven. If you don't get it right here, you will not get it right up there, because you got to get it right down here. There'll be no public schools and private schools. There will be only one house, and that'll be the house of the Lord. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we fooling ourselves that things are going to get better after a while. I'm going to only help my child out. I'm only going to make sure that the quality education is given to certain students. All of us are in the Lamb Book of Life. God will call our name and ask us one day, what did you do to the least of thee? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you choose what God you're going to serve, but I'm going to serve the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm going to do it right. I come to you each week and tell you about the failure of public education. And I don't see a whole lot that's going on in my community. In Detroit, 94 schools was out because of poor condition and funding program. This is in Detroit. And ladies and gentlemen, it's all over. It's just not in my hometown. You need to get busy and do something about public education. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Morris Merriweather, the host of Straight Talking Room 503. I am also the author of Enough is Enough. If you hadn't got a copy of the book, go to www.morrismerriweather.com and get your copy. Ladies and gentlemen, until next week, take care of yourself and then reach back and help someone else. Till we see you next week, same place. Take care now. Bye-bye.